Good morning, and welcome to the Motivational Devotion, where we are merging motivation and spirituality to create a daily dose of confident positivity. I hope that this morning's podcast will help you to be more spiritually and positively motivated so that you can transform your day. How do things look around you right now? Are things exactly as you wish they would be? Everything is perfect in your life? All your goals have become reality and your dreams are fulfilled? You would be a very unique person if all that were true. Even among people who are achieving big-time goals every day, they are also setting new big-time goals even before the others are met. I also realized a long time ago that if my dreams become fulfilled during this lifetime, then they weren't big enough dreams. The dream should be so far out there that it leads us to shape and form new goals, but the dream itself is something we live into while never quite fully realizing. I assure you, my big dream for my life is really big. I think one of the hard things for people to get is to get a solid grip in the mind of what it means to have a dream while living every day in circumstances and events that are nothing like that dream, and yet to not be attached to the current circumstances and events to the point that we lose sight of the dream. I think of professional athletes who grew up in deeply impoverished circumstances and yet had a big enough dream to push past insurmountable odds into huge success and never let those impoverished circumstances define who they were. They lived in them, but they lived into the dream because they were able to foresee. We interact with other people every day whose circumstances and environment are less than desirable. They might be coworkers, they might be employees where you shop, and they might be customers or patients that you serve. They might even be members of your family. Sometimes I converse with people in really hard situations, and I can see how they made poor decision after poor decision and how I could just as easily have made those decisions as opposed to the decisions I did make. And I think how that could easily have been me, except for things my parents taught me and the way I've learned to foresee effects of choices I make. Sometimes it's not sight, but it's a type of feeling you get in your gut. But we're still going to lump that into foreseeing, and learning to foresee will give you the ability to shape your circumstances and your environment. Not one of us can fix everybody, and we shouldn't carry that complex anyway. Most of the time, the best we can do for any other person is to do our best to live into our own dreams and set and achieve our own goals, because we might inspire others, and we also will increase our own capability to get involved if and when it becomes appropriate to do so. To do that, we have to learn to trust the gut and learn to foresee. The difficult aspect of foresight is that those pesky trees get in the way of seeing the forest. We get so engaged in the circumstances of the present and trying to absolutely correctly see what just isn't right that we can't back up a little to be more objective and foresee what the correct picture ought to be. So now here is the key to this whole thing. Foresight becomes blurred when we collude with the present, because then the future becomes elusive. My awareness needs to be right here and right now, but I am not defined by right here and right now. I am defined by, and the course of my life is defined by, my dreams and my goals, or in other words, my vision for my life. Having that vision is to be able to foresee how things will be, not just how they could be, and not just how I wish things were, but literally how things will be because of my intent. Now, I will have more on relentless intent tomorrow. Here's a little example. Imagine you are sailing a little boat across a lake. You have your hand on the rudder, or if it's big enough, on the wheel, and looking down at the water, it moves all around your boat, and it is impossible to know where you are or even how fast you are going if you are only looking at the water. You would become lost. If you focus your attention, however, on a spot on the shoreline where you want to end up, you will make almost a straight line toward that spot. The wind may change and the current may move you a little this way or that, and you can adjust your course with the rudder and by changing the sail a little this way or that way. The correlation is that where you are in the water is your present here and now, and the spot on the far shoreline is your dream. When we collude with the present, the future becomes elusive. You can focus on your dream far in the future while still being mindful of your present here and now. But if you are consumed by your present here and now to the point that it defines who you are and consumes your attention, you will not be able to even see a dream far in the future, much less live into it. Let me say that again, and I encourage you to play this several times. You can focus on your dream far in the future while still being mindful of your present here and now, but if you are consumed by your present here and now to the point that it defines who you are and consumes your attention, you will not be able to even see a dream far in the future, much less live into it. Such a thing isn't so hard, really, but all our cultural influences and people we know point us toward fixing and seeing and maintaining our immediate circumstances, as if that's what responsible people do. Learning to foresee requires a willingness to let go of that compulsion to try to fix everything that is immediately in front of us and to let everything that is immediately around us also define us and make us feel okay. It requires a willingness to embrace that the universe has a role in creating what we foresee, and please trust me when I say that I am not just spouting off stuff I read in a book somewhere. I am living this, and learning to foresee a dream for your life will include foreseeing that all of creation is conspiring in your favor. Trust that the universe always has your back, and you will live into your dream. Viktor Frankl once said, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given circumstances, to choose one's own way." Thank you for taking the time to listen today. Please help keep this podcast going by following the Motivational Devotional Facebook page, following @Threefold Way Radio on Twitter, and sharing the written format of today's message from motivational-devotional.com on your social media. I am deeply grateful for your support, and thank you for letting Motivational Devotional be part of your journey. Peace out. See you tomorrow. Motivational Devotional is a production of Threefold Way Radio, LLC.